Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about some friggin' books. So the last month, probably, I hate saying I'm in a reading slump because I'm still reading. I don't know that I've ever been in a reading slump where I'm just I genuinely do not want to read anything. So I don't know if that's what, I guess I don't know if that's what people mean when they say a slump. Basically, I've still been reading, but, and the books I've been reading, generally speaking, nothing has been bad. I haven't disliked anything ugh, gross, I hate it, nothing like that. And I've only DNF'd, well, I DNF'd Next Year in Havana, sort of recently. And then I DNF'd another one, and then I finished two. And the two that I finished, I quite enjoyed, but I'm just kind of I feel like I'm tired. Maybe I'm just in general in life, just way too tired lately, where I'm I don't want to do shit. So I'll start off with the one that I mentioned I DNF'd, and that was, I'm bummed out. Number one, because I really wanted to like this book. I mean, obviously, I picked it up with the intention or hope of liking it. Also, it was the selection for the Too Old for This Shit book club, and I didn't get the last one, the last selection. I just never picked it up, and I would have started way too late. It was the end of the month anyway, and I just quit. And then Ashley changed it, so now they pick a book and then it's 2 months that you get to read it, right? So the book was A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. I said that weird. Edge at the Edge of the Universe. By Alex White. This is adult sci-fi. I heard people talking about it quite a bit on BookTube in general, and it being referred to as having female-female romance and just queer characters in general, and being kind of a heisty type thing or adventure, all that stuff. And it sounded great, and I started reading it on my Kindle. I purchased the book, the ebook, because the library was taking too long, or there was a way too long hold, and I really wanted to read this one, so I was whatever, I'm just gonna buy it. It was a few dollars, and I just didn't really connect with it that much. And I've said it before that ebooks aren't always the best for me. A physical book is 100% the best way, in my opinion, if you're able to, of course, to read a book. For me personally, that's just how I retain the most information. The characters were fun, and the story was adventure and things happening, and it was a fun ride, right? But I just didn't, I don't know, I just didn't care. And I think maybe sci-fi just isn't it for me, because I also read, what's it called? Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, right? By Becky Chambers. I read that, and wasn't anything wrong with it. I didn't hate it necessarily, but I find that with all of the jargon, the tech, sci-fi jargon, and this one had racing, so then there's car jargon. It just confuses me and makes me feel all I don't fucking, what do I need to pay attention to? What's important here? Nothing? All of it? I don't know. And it just kind of bogs it down for me a little bit. Makes it more difficult for me to connect with the characters. So I was gonna try to continue it. I had the time, and I was I'll just keep trying, whatever. And I just, after a while, I was I'm really not wanting to pick this up. I can't remember how far into it I got. So yeah, I DNF'd that. I won't be picking it up later. It's just not for me. And then I finished a book that I got actually while I was in New York. When I say I got, I mean that Fernando got it for me. Fernando's Mermaid Books. Or is it Fernando's Mermaid Reads? I always forget which one it is. I'm so sorry, Fernando. But yeah, he's a fellow booktuber, and I've been subscribed to him for a minute, and he's been subscribed to me, and we chit chat and comments here and there, and he's just precious, such a sweet human. And I was in New York, and I forgot that he lives in New York, but he messaged me, I think on Instagram. I was oh my God, you're actually here. Or on Twitter, I don't know. We decided to meet up at the Strand bookstore in New York, in Manhattan. So he came in from where he lives with his mom and sister, and I got to meet them too, and they were so sweet. And yeah, we just hung out and walked around the bookstore. While we were walking around and talking, he told me that he was loving the Cassandra Clare's books, and I don't know the fucking series name, but the last one with Queen of Air and Darkness, and he was oh, I don't have this one yet, but I have to get to that one next. And there was a hardcover copy, and I was let me buy it for you. And he was like, I feel so bad, I need to get you like a book too. And he actually got me 2 books. I'll be talking about that in a haul later. But the one that he got me was Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnely, because if you don't know, Fernando loves mermaids, hence his channel name. And he said that this is one of his favorite series. He read it when he was younger. And it's a whole series, the Waterfire Saga. I think there were 5. I started reading it on the flight home, and I got like at least a quarter of the way through it. It's a very easy read. It's very diverse. There's mermaids from the different waters, you know, and they have their different cultures and everything like that. And it's really cool. The premise is we have our main character who is a princess. Things happen, and she's on the run with her friend. There's a prophecy about 6 young mermaids who have to come together to defeat like a big evil, right? An ancient evil, essentially. I thought it was really, really fun and really cute. It's definitely on, as far as the writing style, mostly the dialogue. The dialogue was very much like on the younger side of YA, which isn't a problem. Like, YA is for teenagers. Sometimes it leans more towards being for college-age people. This one did not. This one was definitely for teenagers. Some of the language, the dialogue used occasionally was a little cringy for me as, you know, an almost 33-year-old lady. But I understand I'm not the target audience for it. And it was just so cute and fun. I like the characters. It is, like I said, it's very diverse. There's all the different cultures and everything. And it's really cutesy, like with puns and stuff, like little word puns. My favorite is their money they call currency, but it's spelled curren, C-S-E-A, like the sea. And I was like, like, it's just silly little things like that. But it was a fun time, and I want to read the rest of them. I think the pacing is really, really good throughout. I never found myself being bored at any point, but the plot like made sense. It wasn't just like a bunch of crap happening. Like, it all made sense. And it was really interesting. I really enjoyed learning more about this world, the undersea world. On my 1 to 10, I gave this a 6.16, which translates to a solid 3 pushinicorns. So thank you again to Fernando for getting me that. And then I'm not gonna talk about this one a crap ton. I just won't talk about it that much in the pushinicorn pick video. I read The Last Namsara by Kristen, Ciccarelli. I can't remember. This one, I didn't not like, but I also didn't love it as much as I wanted to. At least the first half, I will say that. The first half of this book, the plot and the pacing was genuinely irritating me. The main character, so the premise is we have a main character who's a dragon hunter. This is her, like, I don't know, her mission in life. Her dad is the ruler, the king, and her brother's the heir, and she's the Ixari. And she goes and kills the dragons and hunts the dragons. And telling stories lures dragons out. These old stories lures dragons out. But she believes that the king believes that it's evil. He doesn't like it. And he has forbidden it in this world. And she occasionally still does it to lure the dragons out. Whatever, things ensue. But yeah, the first half of this, I swear to God, I felt like every chapter she was like, I'm leaving the city to go hunt the dragon. And then that same day, she wasn't even gone for like a couple hours. Like, she was just out for a little bit, and then she gets hurt or something, and she comes back to the city. And then she's in the city and she's doing something. I gotta go. I only have 3 days to kill the dragon. And like, she's just going back and forth and back and forth. So I was getting really fucking irritated with this back and forth plot and pacing. And it just was very stagnant. Nothing was really happening. And then the last half, things picked up and it got exciting. And I am a sucker for a romance. I just am. Of course, if it's bad, I don't like that. Like, if it's a badly written romance or like whatever. And sometimes I can appreciate like why am I holding there's not even a cover, whatever. Sometimes I can not appreciate, but get enjoyment out of a relationship, a romance in a book that's like, in real life, you do not want this. It's not healthy, it's toxic, you know, it's like it's like the fucking, the Wrath and the Dawn type of romance. But like in the book, in the fictional world, I'm just like, I don't care, I love them together, you know. But then there are books where it's like more real life stuff, and you can't support it. Or books like The Hunger Games, where I love The Hunger Games, but I didn't love the romance because I didn't think there really needed to be one. But when there is one that's like good and fun and I enjoy, like I live for that. I love it. I want my books to have good romances in them. I prefer that, I guess. So this one does have romance, and the last half of the book, I really was getting into it. I was like, okay, I'm for this. I dig it, and I want to see what happens next. And that one got a 5.6 on my 1 to 10 scale, which translates also to 3 push-unicorns. A little lower on the 1 to 10, just like I said, because of the pacing and the plot things that just didn't really work for me. That is all I have for you for this wrap up. Not a lot of reading getting done. I feel like I might need to just like step away from the fantasy for a hot second, because I don't know if I'm just getting like bogged down with it. Like I said, I enjoyed these books, but I also just was like kind of So I picked up, I'm currently reading The Irish Princess, which is a historical fiction. I'm enjoying that so far. I feel like I just needed a palate cleanser, I guess, is how I feel. But at the same time, there's fantasy books on my shelves that I'm like, I want to start that one. But I also think I just got myself bogged down reading too many books at once, because like, I don't know, a month ago, I was reading like 5 or 6 at once, and since then I've consistently been reading like 3 or 4, and then I just got it down to 2, and now I'm like, I'm just gonna read this one for now. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.